Today we're going to be taking a look at this, the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual. You're not going to want to miss this. It's going to be a hot one. What's up and welcome everyone. My name is Original Dobo, and if this is your first time here on my channel, I do drone and tech related content. So if that is your thing, you may want to consider hitting that subscribe button at the end of this video. And a shameless plug, if you aren't already, make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram, because that's where I am most of the time, tweeting about this stuff and showing you guys the behind the scenes. Today, we're going to be talking about the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, which is now the thermal camera capable Mavic that was released last year or launched last year, but we didn't get it in our hands until this year. But anyways, it's here, it's in-house, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna do like a full walkthrough about it. But before I get too far ahead of myself, let me give a big thank you to my sponsor of this video, DroneWorks, because DroneWorks is the one who provided me this Mavic 2 Dual to keep and to review and put these videos out for you guys that are interested in the enterprise products that DJI offers. If you want to get your hands on a Mavic 2 Dual, I would highly suggest that you check out the link in the description below. And if you're a little bit uncomfortable on whether or not the Dual is right for you or you need something bigger, feel free to give him a call. Zach over at DroneWorks is absolutely phenomenal. And not only is he the owner of the business, but he also is a commercial pilot and does this for a living. So if you're interested, give him a call, talk to him about whether or not this is right for you. Now, as I said, this is the second enterprise Mavic that we've seen in just the past 90 days. The first one was the Mavic 2 Zoom Enterprise. And if you haven't already seen me unbox that, I can promise you that the components inside are just the same. You still get a beacon, you still get the spotlight, and you are still getting that cool speaker. Nothing's changed. So the internals of the box are basically the same. So we really don't got to spend a lot of time talking about that. What's different on this camera is the sensor. The sensor is now packing a FLIR sensor as well as a vivid image sensor, which is just your RGB sensor. What's cool about this camera sensor is that it packs a 4K camera, but it also combines it with a FLIR image sensor off to the side. So combine them both together, you get MSX, which is infrared sensor, and a vivid image sensor, and it gives you a lot more detail than normal. Now, this camera is a little bit different than that on the Zoom. 2.8 aperture here, but the ISO can get cranked all the way up to 12,800. So if you're flying at night, you're going to be able to let much more light in and be able to see so much more, and you can actually pick and choose which areas you want to expose. So the sensor is absolutely amazing. The fact, combine that with the infrared, you've got yourself a match made in heaven. So who's this for? Well, this is really designed for people who want quick enterprise solutions, maybe like roofing inspectors or even those in search and rescue. So to tell you why this drone is so important to EMS, I've got my good friend Jay Desio, who is actually an EMS responder, to give you more information before I take the Enterprise to the beach. So I'm gonna get driving. Jay, tell them about this drone.
Thanks, Ken. I've been in EMS almost 43 years and fire rescue for 20. Technology changes over the past couple of decades have been amazing. I spent 10 years as a helicopter flight medic, and we would hang out the side of the helicopter with spotlights while ground personnel would search a cornfield with flashlights. Now we have the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, a small aircraft with thermal capabilities that even the smallest first responder unit can now launch within minutes for under $3,000. Prior to the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, first responders had to rely on the more expensive M200 series aircraft with an XT or XT2 camera, costing anywhere between $15,000 and $20,000, something most organizations could not afford. While the Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual does not have the resolution of the XT or the XT2, it does serve a different purpose. Now almost every first responder, squad car, fire department, or EMS organization can deploy an aircraft with thermal capabilities within minutes, saving precious minutes where they count the most, and not having to put personnel in harm's way. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks, Jay, for that. I'm out here now with my friend Mark Fields, who owns, what is it, See-Through Adventures. See-Through Adventures here in St. Pete Beach. And I figured to do a search and rescue sort of scenario, well, I would need somebody in the water or lost, and I don't have that. So We have manatees, dolphins, a lot of aquatic marine life out here, and we're gonna go search for them and see how that works. So we're gonna get the drone up in the air. It's a little bit windy today, but I think we should be able to pierce through the water and find some manatees, and that should give you a good idea of how this is gonna operate, one, through a surface, and two, in a real life situation. Hang on a second, let me get the drone in the air.
So I gotta say, first off, the wind was about 20 miles an hour when we took off from the shore. And right away, I'm already picking up some kayaks. You can see over on the left-hand side, there is a kayak moving off to the left. They're in a restricted area, by the way. There should be no boats in here where the manatees are. I flipped it over the visible form so I can take a look at some structures in the water. Now, these are old pylons that were just dumped here way back in the 90s. Now, at first look, they can sort of look like a manatee from the air. But they're just actually pieces of an old bridge that was dumped here. So we're going to continue searching, see if we can't find any, and still not seeing anything. Heat signatures are a little bit wonky since we are looking through the water, but flip it over to isotherm. You can actually see there are some manatees right there. Actually a whole pod, lots of manatee. To be exact, there were probably over 100 plus manatees in this pod, and using isotherm is a way that you can find, items that project a heat signature, whether it be in the water, in the woods, whatever. Typically it's used to find people, and there are different versions of isotherm that you can use, whether you're looking at a fire or you're looking for a human heat signature. It really helps out, and you can see the outline here. Now, just to give you some perspective here, I'm about 56 feet in the air, which is still pretty high, especially with this resolution. Flip it over to visible, and bam. You can see there is a lot of manatees, a lot of juvenile manatees out here. And yeah, so pretty cool. And this is a really prime reason why, for a law enforcement officer, for FWC, you would want to use this. One, search and rescue, and also conservation of endangered animals. You can find poachers in the night, just flipping it over to the infrared or using MSX.
That was a lot of fun being able to fly and check out the manatees. I've never seen quite so many, so thank you, Mark Fields, for bringing me out there and checking those out. And if anybody's coming to Florida anytime soon and they want to take a really cool tour, Mark does some see-through kayak adventures here in Florida, and I promise you it's going to be an experience like none other. I'll leave a link in the description below. But on a serious note, manatees are no longer an endangered species here in Florida. However, they are a threatened species, and we need to do whatever we can to conserve them. So for those guys that were in the water, literally where they weren't supposed to be, in a restricted area, yeah, what are you doing? I saw a motorboat actually over there, and you know how I knew? The thermal picked up the combustion engine. It was running like hot, and I was actually able to see that. So not only were there kayaks in there were also combustion engines in an area that's restricted from November to March. So yeah, crazy. But this is more of a reason to put drones in the hands of our law enforcement so they can see things like this and help protect those animals that need to be protected. But I'm really impressed with these thermals. First time ever checking this out. I am by no means a professional when it comes to photography, videography, or dealing with thermals. However, Zach is, and he's sort of taking me under his wing and teaching me what he already knows about thermal technology, and hopefully bestowing some of that knowledge to me. So as I progress with these videos, I will give you more information on it. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've got it in hand. We're gonna do many more videos, so let me know what you wanna see from this drone. And again, if you're interested in one, links will be in the description below. But that's gonna wrap this video up. Big thank you to Jay Desio, Mark Fields, Zach Davis from DroneWorks. You guys all rock. I'll see you in the next one. Stay original. Put that check mark in there. That's how you do a drone video. We're not walking around the house.